I don't know if those are phantom images, but we do appear to be live on Twitch again.
Okay.
Move into the warehouse so people can tell right off the start that things are horrible again. In case they are horrible again.
Boo. There's Potato. And Ralph points out 500 subs. Yeah.
That's a lot of sandwiches, but I'd be up for the challenge if you give me enough time.
It's clear, no stutters.
Wonderful, thank you. I don't know how that happened because I just checked the recording and it wasn't there.
Oh, the internet's a strange place. We were watching it yesterday. It's full of people hanging by their heads. Right, I need to just let the game play a little bit. What?
That's what you're referencing. I don't remember watching a lot of people being hung yesterday.
So, hello, Spotted Cow. Who's back?
Spotted Cow, Crazy Potato, and apparently Ralph. But you already pointed that out.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do all the
What was I gonna do? Hang on a second. There was a thing I was gonna do about trains. Was I sticking with the cheapest train on my freight lines until we get the next train? Do you remember? There was something.
Yes, I do believe.
Because this
Hold
is the
on,
train that's.
You didn't. You just exchanged all of one type of train for a worse version.
That sounds right. Okay, so the Dunham does 26 mile an hour. Was I not waiting, or is that in my recorded series?
No, that was here.
So let's have a quick look at our tech tree. Because I'm sure there was something.
I think we're working towards the one on the right.
Or is it the one below? The Jervis.
I don't think we're going for the Jervis.
Oh, it does 27 mile an hour, 35% tractive power. Whereas this one is 26 miles per hour, 29. And we can unlock this one as soon as we get enough innovation points, so just in a few months' time. Whereas that one we need to, that's a way off and it's slower. So this is it's the Jervis that we're aiming for. And so yeah, I think I was going to stick with...
Why would we be aiming for the Jervis? That's just 1 mile quicker. It would be wiser to go immediately for the big shots.
It's tractive power as well. Because the next...
Tractive power, schmactive power.
Because that one is only going to take 200 points to unlock. And this one, I don't know how do we even... Ah, right, wait, left click and arrow keys. No,
I
left
think you
click
just left
and
click
mouse.
And drag the mouse.
Okay, we need 300 points plus 200 points, so it's going to take 500 points to unlock that one, which is slower. It will then take a further 300 points, so 800 points to unlock that one.
Oh, fine, just stick with your Jervis, I guess.
So I think the Jervis is the train of choice for the next few years.
You hurt me. Anyway, returning to chat, Ralph points out that I apparently better make him 500 sandwiches in celebration. I'm not sure if you'd appreciate the sorts of sandwiches I'd make. I might just fill them with sauerkraut and nothing else.
Sandwiches, but then
Depends
I
on
like
the person.
sauerkraut.
That too. Zark points out that he may have been that 500th subscriber, so if eating 500 sandwiches because of this is a thing, then he is to blame. I wasn't planning on eating 500 sandwiches, especially Subway sandwich shop branded Subway sandwiches. Because they're quite expensive, especially if you want to buy 500 of them. What?
came here. You are
Oh.
busy watching stream instead of watching.
Sorry, I was trying to
Yeah.
catch up with chat. Baltimore and Ohio, new connections. 10 stations currently connected.
The railroad company recently built a new train station and has consequently connected yet another region to its rail network. Chief Executive Rao stated that his railroad company's route expansion was also going to continue unabated in the future. There are still plenty of people and cattle that aren't hooked up to our network yet who deserve nothing less than the best network. I'm sure we get this every episode. Next thing I want to connect is Buffalo. We're going to plop a station down in Buffalo.
Potato believes that I would fill my sandwiches full of bees. We're already running low on bees. I'm not giving them away in 500 sandwiches to eat. Yeesh. Anyway,
Oh, connection bonus.
Baltimore, Ohio has fastest train. Dunham 420 hits 29 miles per hour.
All right, we've read that one plenty of times before,
Yeah,
so
we have.
well done,
What
us.
good is your new record anyway?
100,000 isn't going to connect Buffalo. Need just a little bit more.
Baltimore, Ohio, best carrier.
Baltimore is pleased as punch. Rarely has a city been as well supplied as Baltimore in recent months. The city's businesses and residents are certain that this is due to the first-rate railroad connection from B&O and have voiced the railroad company best carrier. Reason indeed for the company to rejoice, as this honour is certainly to greatly increase its profits in freight transport. Well, that's good news. All right. That'll do. Let's get a station in Buffalo. What I could do actually, if I was to put in a small train station and connect it and then upgrade it, that would work.
So returning to my chat reading thing, Alfie pointed out earlier on that he never left. We're the ones that chose to leave.
Indeed.
Well, you sent us away by telling us our audio stuttery, like a cow with rabies.
Alright, we want to get...
Alfie was asking, is it a Jeff Dunham? Does it do jokes with puppets? Which Tammy apparently found quite funny.
Oops, wrong key. I meant to rotate, not move. I think we need to bring it around.
Also, Charlie is
like
back
that.
again. Did I mention
Hello,
that?
Charlie. Welcome
Sorry
back.
for the delay.
Oh, now they will want cattle. Can we fit another line in here? We should be able to.
Ralph is surprised that Charlie didn't do his traditional foreign language greeting by now, to which Charlie pointed out that he already did.
Yeah, he's already done that.
So now instead he's offering us a quote. I'm not sure if he's delivered it yet, but you know.
Alright, we'll go for that.
Know that a quote would be appreciated with us. Virtually most things that you say at chat are appreciated.
Indeed.
By at least Sal.
Yeah. At least by me. Alright, we want to upgrade this train station because one small train station is not enough. Might get away with just 2 tracks though. It's possible that we would want to go up to Syracuse on that side. 2 tracks down here, would that be enough? Yeah, probably. So yeah, that might be all we need for Buffalo. Let's just extend the tracks out so that they are there for when the city grows.
Did we get the connection bonus?
Yeah, we did.
I kind of lost track while trying to figure out how Potato gets from a $5 Subway sandwich to a $4,620 and 15 pennies. I assume that's what they use in America.
He's not. He's in Canada.
Canadian pennies, I guess, then. Are they using Canadian pennies or are they using Canadian cents?
Well, a 1 cent is often referred to as being a penny. Just to
That's not
confuse
helping.
matters.
Where was I?
Can't get a dual one.
By
in
just
there.
adding a few toppings to the sandwich. He then points out that it's an exaggeration, and yes, I probably got that. But it's late, and I've skipped Spotted Cow. I've skipped the question the Spotted Cow was trying to ask twice now, because I wasn't sure if you're ready for that sort of conversation yet.
Hang on a second. Have I managed to get right? I've got a supply line on there. Got
On
signals
a side
on
note,
there.
Charlie97 is providing us with a quote. War never changes, but men do through the roads they walk. And he's now wondering if you can tell where it's from.
It's not one that I recognise.
How about we're giving Sal some hints? Potato points out that pennies are discontinued in Canada.
Oh, what do you use as currency then?
Oh yeah, I was reading about that. No, they just abandoned the 1 penny coin because it costs more to produce the 1 penny coin than it's actually worth.
Ah. Right, that is freight only. We want it to sit at the warehouse until it's got at least 4 cars of stuff. And we're going to put a cheap train on there. I was tempted to run the grasshopper, to be honest. At least on the freight only lines.
The Spotted Cow points out that in Norway, a sender of penny is called an Uri? Uri? I've no idea how to pronounce the O with a line through it. Sal, you're a language expert, clearly.
Not very good with the Scandinavian languages, but...
How dare you?
I mean, how can you say I'm the language expert, Mia? You're the one who speaks like 5 languages and I don't speak any. Barely speak English.
But I don't speak any Viking.
Yeah, but you speak
That was probably a
German
very
and
racist
Russian
expression.
and French and
Ooh.
English and...
So, in regards to that quote, Charlie97 points out that you built it on the mean.
New Vegas.
Wow, I'm impressed. Although you probably didn't remember that was a game. Also.
I remember... Well, I now know it's Fallout New Vegas, which of course I've never played because it's got dinosaur type things in it. Oh, look how much money we've got. We should
Just
do
some
something with
lizard
that.
dogs and one large plastic dinosaur with some miniature toy versions. But
I thought the large plastic dinosaur was in GTA.
what?
you hit quite a pitch there, Mia.
I don't remember a plastic dinosaur in GTA, but I remember a huge, giant, bobbing male chicken. Before I go on there. But I don't remember a dinosaur.
Is that too tight?
And again,
corner?
chickens are descendants of dinosaurs, somehow, apparently. So I guess you could call that really large rooster a dinosaur.
Wow, what is wrong with this corner? Why doesn't it like this corner? Look, that bit's almost straight. What's up with you?
There's a rock in the way or something.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to take this track
Ralph
back a
seems
little.
surprised that I could apparently possibly speak 5 languages, and now he's counting them down. West German, East German, English, normal German, and here's the kicker, you forgot Bavarian. Not fluently. Sorry, I lost it. I need a second to get into the language, clearly.
Isn't that true of all languages?
No, for some languages it just clicks.
My brother spent some time in England. His accounts of how the railroad is used in mining there fascinated me. However, in America, we have considerably greater distances to overcome. A mammoth task.
So returning to the discussion about potatoes lunch fund dollars, i.e. Canadian money, they have nickels which are worth 0.05 dimes, which are worth 0.10 quarters, which are worth 0.25 loonies, which are worth $1, and twoonies which are worth $2.
Sounds as complicated as the old British system, which I'm still really tempted to stick a grasshopper on. I'm sticking a grasshopper on. It's on a flat line and it's only pulling wood around the place. And it's a really short journey as well, so... Right, let's just check.
Alfie
Warehouse
reminds
take
all of
those.
us that the quote Charlie used was actually used first in the introduction video of Fallout 1, and Bethesda then later on reused it in Fallout 3 and 4. And New Vegas, apparently.
Okay, how are we doing for time?
Alfie also reminds us that initially the Fallout intro was narrated by Ron Perlman. I feel like I should know that man because you embellish the fact that he did narrate it so much. And now I feel inconsiderate.
Right, by 1840 we want to buy 20% of shares in someone. Let's not forget that.
Zark points out that in Sweden they call the cent and or penny öre. It has to be Norwegian that shoves a stick through a letter instead of just 2 dots. Yeah, I find the dots a lot more sophisticated than...
Well, you would be in German.
Yes,
you
we
use
have...
dots yourself.
Yeah, they sound nice. Spotted Cow says that the lowest physical currency is equal to a pound or a pound I assume, or $1. Or do they use puns anywhere in the world? For payment. Puns. Come on, it's funny.
You'd be alright, wouldn't you, Mayor of those?
No, I wouldn't. I hate them.
You are the great pun creator.
Also, imagine the money laundering scheme that would be going on if you could just create more puns.
Would be
Although I
better
was
to do it
talking
that
about a
way.
pun with a D at the end, but you know.
Okay.
Ralph points out that there's a big rubber dinosaur near the Ron Alternate's wind farm and GTA's.
Yeah,
sounds
that's the one I
correct.
was thinking about.
Oh well. A Spotted Cow never played the early Fallout games. And Alfie is linking us to the intro,
Bridges.
which was narrated by Ron Perlman.
Apparently we've got a bridge on this line somewhere, but I can't see it. Oh, no, that's because it goes across the river. Yeah. Here we go. There's the bridge. And I don't think I can make that bridge much shorter, so I think we'll live with it.
Alfie points out that the Irish pound was called a punt back before they adopted the euro.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Is that really how you pronounce it? That was a wild guess into the dark as to how an Irish person would pronounce a U.
Not sure on how it was pronounced.
Oh, it almost sounds like you were never Irish.
But I remember seeing it written. I'm about 3/4 Irish by ancestry.
Ralph believes that the Irish make everything sound like a swear, don't they? I don't see how
signals up that
print is anything like...
I've just put in 2 lots of supply towers down here.
Okay, Alfie corrects me. It's like a pun with a T at the end, so it's a punt. Not quite what I imagined, but fine. So, returning to an earlier question, assuming you do have the time, do you have the time?
Apparently
no
it's no stopping.
Baltimore in Ohio, over 2,078 miles long track.
Chief Executive Rao disclosed to this newspaper that, although pleased at having pulled ahead of the competition, nowhere near all the goals of the good citizens had been achieved. And yet the track construction business is certainly lucrative. The method serves railroad companies to secure the land along their tracks. If these areas are subsequently settled, the property value increases and is worth a fortune.
Al?
Yeah?
Is there a slang word that sounds similar to punt, which comes really close to describing Welsh people?
To describing what?
Welsh people, you know, people from Wales.
I can't think of a derogatory term for someone from Wales that...
Sounds like punt.
Mm.
Well, I guess it will forever be a mystery then. The thing you were teasing and hinting at yesterday was eco, and the people are dying to know more.
Oh, let's hire a guy.
I feel like you completely ignored that bit.
I'll have to pause the game to talk about it, though, is the problem.
Oh.
Because I can't really... This isn't the kind of game where I can have decent conversations. Because it's...
So I guess it's up to me, then? Fine, I can explain it. So, Eco, did the idea originate with you or with Boris? Last I checked, it was Boris who really wanted to play this initially, right?
It was Boris. Boris had brought up the idea of him and the Nidd tubers playing Eco.
Yeah, basically Eco, for those of you who haven't checked it out yet on Steam, is an educational game which aims to teach a classroom full of kids how to be environmentally friendly, be aware of the global warming and the what's the word for weather? That's not weather, the fancy sounding one. It's late! Excuse me. Climate crises. There we go. That's what I was going for. Game that basically tries to teach children how to be more environmentally sustainable and friendly by putting them in a situation where they have to prevent a meteor from striking a planet while also ensuring that their efforts to build up the technology they require to deter the asteroid from striking the planet doesn't actually also wipe out the planet through the increase of greenhouse gas effects in the atmosphere and other environmentally unfriendly factors.
I'm going to have to let some cash build up anyway. So while Mia is busy saying about how the game will be used in an educational setting. So it's a survival game a bit like Minecraft with a huge tech tree, and there is a lot of modelling behind it based on climate science and ecology. And so we were all talking about how we might give Eco a go, because Boris raised it as something he'd like to have a try. And we were thinking it's actually designed to have like 30 odd people play. We were talking about maybe we should possibly ask if some of our viewers would like to jump in and play with us on occasions. It'd be... we're not talking about an open server. It would be times where we are recording. So Yeah. So we were thinking about that, and there were a few people, Potato, obviously, came to mind as someone who we would think to invite. But yeah, anyone who's interested in joining us. So at the moment, we're still batting it around as a maybe, possibly, but.
Mind you, from Boris's perspective, all the people who are joining in, who are not, Nidd-tubers, will be, in his eyes, again, mindless drones wasting away for his...
That's not what he's... Unpaid interns was the phrase that was used.
Excuse me, but I do believe that...
I don't believe mindless drones was a phrase that was used at all. Maybe you should save selling for, somebody else.
Oh, fine, then. And again, I do believe that mindless drone and unpaid intern are synonymous. Ralph would like to know how much it is.
I think it's...
£23 or $30. Canadian dollars, I think.
Random breakdown, that's fine.
Potato
Right.
points out that saving the world while also being green sounds impossible. And Ralph isn't very happy with the idea of playing environmental and educational game in his half-term.
Yeah, I was thinking that you weren't perhaps selling it the best.
Oh, you're very kind there. Thank you.
Alright, we can get those two on one. And I'm sure someone will want veggies and corn. See if we can get... Gonna need bridges, so this might not be affordable yet.
Well, you could just lead it straight over to the other railway there and just build a parallel.
Well, I need it to come to the warehouse.
Oh, you needed to come to the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind then. Ralph believes that Boris could probably, maybe, sell the game a bit better. He sells you the idea of being a mindless drone yourself better than I can.
Alright. Corn, veggies. So we'll want one track to go out to fruit.
Ralph wants you to replace me with Boris. Hold on, let me give him a call. Oh no, hold on, it's like...
It's the wrong time of day for giving Boris a call.
It's like 6 in the morning for the man.
Okay, so we need to find ways of reducing the cost of this track. One of which will be to get that just over there.
Potato points out that the only thing that deters him from directly jumping on board of the game is the $30 price tag for a game that's still in early access. That bridge you're building looks expensive.
The what?
The bridge you're building looks expensive.
It's because it's going over here and then over there. So it was making one great big bridge.
Ugh.
It's still got quite a steep incline just here. If I take that track point and raise it a touch, that's not... Well, we might just be able to get a bit of earthworks in there. Let's try removing that and putting it back again. Yeah, I think that's probably the best we're going to get.
But 5%? Isn't that...
It'll be alright once we've got... one of those little ones wouldn't be able to do it, but one of the better trains will. And we don't need it to go fast because it is just a freight line. We will be bringing another line in from the fruit farm, so I can route that down and double it up here, which will save on some of the costs of the next track. Yeah. So we'll hold that. We need a bit more
Sark
cash here.
points out that at least it's just bridges. It would cost you a lot more if the game insisted you were going to use tunnels instead.
It would.
You can't really tunnel under the river, can you?
Been done in plenty of places.
I mean, yes, but that's going to be even more expensive here.
Nearly there. Nearly there. But yes, it would be much more expensive.
Ralph points out that you have to compare Eco here with a game like Ark, which also started out with a £20 price tag early on in early access, and now is sitting at a much higher price, I assume. But then again, the Spotted Cow points out that 200 Nordic crowns for an early access game is just a bit too spicy. I don't think they're called Nordic crowns. Horns. Horn. 200 Norway lunch fund dollars.
Right, I think we've now got our research points. We can go for the better train. Yes,
Call that a new locomotive?
I
Does
do.
it have cannons as well?
I don't get why it should have cannons.
I'm not sure unless he's calling it a battleship.
Why would he call it a battleship? It doesn't swim very well. I believe. I wouldn't know.
Alright, nearly there. Right, now we can put in that track.
Norwegian kroner? Well, I was close.
Ah,
Oh, right, sorry. Baltimore is now biggest city. Baltimore in Ohio is key hauler.
Baltimore is not only the biggest city, but it is also the first city in the region to reach a population of 90,000. Since life in the city is easier and safer than life out in the countryside, more and more people are being drawn to these growing metropolises. And thanks to the railroad, these well-connected cities are also able to successfully cover the steep increase in their needs.
Personally, I believe the plural of metropole would metropolopipi. No, hold on.
Metropoceli.
No. I'm trying to refer to paninis.
Ah. You know, maybe I should have put this line in after I put in these lines, but oh well. Right, train loading, train loading, train loading.
I believe that the
Expresses,
railroad
okay.
will democratize mobility. It is a means of transport that should be open to all people. Not only because it is profitable, no, but because it opens up people's eyes to the world.
Cheese. Pittsburgh is a centre of cheese.
Zark would have probably taken a slightly longer path without bridges, going around the river and
Going around
sidetracking
here.
through the existing track.
So going around this side of that track? I have to come into the warehouse through the bottom because all my top tracks are
And
full.
then use signals to tell the warehouse train to only cross if it's safe.
Yeah, I mean, I could have brought it round here and actually just connected it to something like Robinson Clearing because the track's not heavily used.
Metropole Pie, there we go. You see, the thing about early access games, at least in Potato's opinion, is that if it's a first game, people don't know if the guy will actually just ditch the project or not. It doesn't even have to be their first game. A publisher like Double Fine was working on a lovely game called Space DF9 or something, and they've made several games before, and when the early access program was introduced, they're making high calls and promises for their cool new game that they were working on. And then eventually they just ditched all those future ideas and called it quits at one point and said, "Nah, the game's done now." In a barely functional state. And that was a bit disappointing.
Okay, all
It
trains.
was also the first time I got burned by an early access game not
I hope
getting
you
finished.
don't mind if I go into competition with your station.
Hold on, what? Where did he go the thing?
Don't know. But I bet he still hasn't expanded in New York.
Oh, it's not like he
Where
could
is
really.
New York? I've lost New York. I thought New York. Have I got the map turned around?
It's
Oh,
there
there
in
it
the
is.
right corner.
Yeah.
There's still room for a station here, don't you think?
Oh. He really wants that.
Yeah, we really want it as well.
On top of that, Potato has concerns about its
Are you looking
multiplayer
to play with the big boys? So what now?
a multiplayer functionality. Will it be a stable game, or will it have some keen problems?
It's been built as multiplayer. They're aiming to take it up to. I mean, it's been built for large-scale multiplayer. It's been designed around 30 people on a server at a time. It's been stress tested in a stream with one of the big YouTubers, and who opened it up to his entire chat. And it survived for quite some time before the lag became unbearable. 1 second. Where?
No.
Down by Jacksonville,
We're
Montgomery.
not
We're
going to
nowhere
get
near
there
that.
anytime soon.
Yeah, indeed. So, oop, wrong way. The map's upside
One of the
down.
saving graces about Eco is that at the moment it's being designed to actually work in a classroom environment, which I believe
Wrong way.
gives it an air of professionality because they're intending to sell this product to schools once it's completely done.
Mm-hmm. And the aim is to take it so you can have 100 people on a server without a problem. So with that as your aim, you need to start off with something that's fundamentally playable as in multiplayer. But yeah, I would say I would never buy an early access game in the hope that it's going to change. I'd only ever buy an early access game if I was happy with what it could already do.
Currently,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a wise approach to dealing with early access games. Speaking of them, Spotted Cow also points out that Space DF9 was building up to be a good game.
Okay, so this one. I'll bring into here.
Hold on, are you merging? Looks like you're merging.
No, I'm going to run them on separate tracks. I mean, I could merge them.
Oh, no, don't do merge. It's just I couldn't really tell from up here. It's a bit far away. The Spotted Cow wanted to know, why did she buy Space Engineers then? Simple, the game was a lot more stable when it initially released in comparison to now. At least that's what I believe her answer would be. It was my answer. Why did you buy Space Engineers? You seem to be fundamentally unhappy with it at the moment.
Yeah. When I bought it, it was relative compared to now. It was rather stable, but I bought it because I wanted to play single player. When I bought Space Engineers,
Congratulations. You're doing some excellent work, and your company has greatly increased in value, just as I had hoped it would.
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, when I bought Space Engineers, I had absolutely no intention of streaming or recording or even playing multiplayer with anyone. I bought it because I was going to play single player and be lost in my own little world.
To be honest, so did I. I still remember my first base. Oh god, that was a thing of beauty. I tried to build a weird hangar where I would dock my starting ship from the top. As if it's something I put on a clothes hanger. It was a nice idea. Unfortunately, I could never quite make it align as nicely and neatly as I was hoping it would. Because the rail blocks... Well, the normal blocks that I was trying to use to build a rail up there just fell apart as soon as I tried to gently ease in there with the ship. The idea was to build some sort of platform. Good old days. I miss those. Potato points out that in his opinion a good example of a good early access game is something like Staxel. It's already a solid experience and has mod support, so if they called it quits, it's still a good game.
Yeah.
It could be finished by the community. Problem in Baltimore. Reporter exposes grievances.
B&O is not having an easy time of it with the citizens of Baltimore these days. With even the volume of mail in decline, it all began with a series of revelations exposing safety hazards and poor working conditions. Although none of this has yet been confirmed, the people of Baltimore have lost their appetite for stations and trains for the time being.
I'm more surprised that
Don't worry about it. Who's interested in what the tabloids say, right?
When I tell
Absolutely.
people about my plans for the railroad, they only see the problems. Laying the tracks, maintenance costs, labor costs, as if a fleet of stagecoaches were cheaper. And don't tell me these mountains of raw materials are supposed to be transported by horses.
Oh, did we do... Yes, connecting 10 rural businesses. That's one we achieved. Next one we're going for is, I've got all of the goods and freight stuff in. So now I'm going to connect Toledo.
But a cow wants to know if I'm talking about a monorail spaceship then. Not an entire monorail spaceship, just a station that's supposed to, have a guide rail, which the spaceship would use to, guide itself into the station, then stop very neatly at a platform so you can just easily walk out onto the platform. The entire thing was built as a hanging station at the bottom of one of the asteroids. Stop making me feel nostalgic about space engineers, everybody.
Okay, I think I'll bring a track underneath this bridge. I can do that, can't I? If we were to run a parallel track... Yes, we can. Very good. And it costs very little. It does give us a problem if we want to bring in salt.
How so?
Probably want to retain this track for salt. Have I got spare track? Oh no, I've got a spare track from the warehouse. It's fine. So we would then be... I haven't put a station in yet. I just wanted to see where the line would be running so I knew what kind of... which direction. How to align my station. So I think somewhere around there. So yeah, we'll bang it right in the middle.
Yeah, I just remember what I was about to say before all your advisors and competitors interrupted me.
Oh yeah.
I'm more surprised that the people of New York aren't sick of train stations yet, seeing how you box them in.
Do I want a big one? I think I do. Who doesn't like a big one? I'll have it right in the centre of town.
Did you just claim another city again?
I spotted Cow suggesting that I maybe try and rebuild that system in Space Engineers now, with the Wheels and Physics update. No, thank you. I've seen a proper monorail built entirely in Space Engineers done before, and I have no desire in trying to replicate that myself, especially after the horrible scenario that we went through on... Oh, right! I see the newspaper in front of me and I completely ignore it. Baltimore and Ohio extends network, 15 stations currently connected.
The railroad company recently built a new train station and has consequently connected yet another region to its rail network. Chief Executive Rauer stated that her railroad company's route expansion was also going to continue unabated in the future. There are still plenty of people and cattle that aren't hooked up to our network yet, who deserve nothing less than the best network. Ah!
Oh. Jackson marvels at technological wonder. President leaves coach at home.
This morning, President Andrew Jackson boarded a passenger car of the B&O Railroad, becoming the first US president to travel by train. Well-informed observers now await a rise in the number of passengers, especially as making a journey by train is no longer any more dangerous than a bear hunt these days, thanks to increasing safety efforts. Oh, there you go. As safe as hunting a bear.
Alfie points out that with a little bit more persistence, I could have ended up with something that looks like a proper monorail system, as portrayed in a short GIF that he sent us.
You know, I should have made that one a little
Do you
bit
actually
longer.
Oh yeah, you need to build your stubs. Never mind then.
The thing about this chapter so far is I'm doing kind of de minimis everywhere. We're not doubling anything up or we're not making good use of signals or anything like that.
Well, why bother with that if the competitors don't even use them themselves? They just run around in ghost trains.
It's where the story stands at the moment. We're better off just connecting as much stuff as possible rather than making best use of the assets that we have.
On a side note, Potato sneezes and he feels his brain explode.
Oh dear.
To which Tammy says, "Bless you." When are we going to update most of our train fleet?
I'm going to get Toledo connected, because that'll bring in a load more money.
Charlie returned because his internet died.
Oh dear. Welcome back, Charlie.
You know, oddly enough, speaking about eco here, we've just recently at university looked at another classroom-adapted game example that's supposed to teach children something about environmental sustainability.
I think the lesson to be learned is never put a teacher in charge of selling fun.
Ugh, you're rude. Have you ever played Settlers of Catan?
No.
Well, it's a small economics game. Hold on, I'm already not selling it as a fun experience. It's an economics game where you're supposed to build up your city, empire, roads, and armies by using randomly generated resources on an area around you. The adapted version...
Let me show you how it's done.
What? What's she doing? Does she want to show you how to make seat upholstery?
Oh, reliability sounds good.
Yes, Charlie, the board game Settlers of Catan. Where was I? Yeah, the adapted version basically just took global warming into effect, where any expansion efforts on our part, like we're building the longest road, we're supplying the largest army, or we're excavating more resources than we're supposed to, leads to an increase of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which then introduces a factor of risk. Basically, you have a scale of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, and at the start, when it's around the level 0 in terms of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, you need to roll anything higher than an 11 to actually draw a crisis card. However, once the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere rises, that number decreases. So, for example, if you reach a level 4 in terms of greenhouse gas, you only need to roll an 8 or something higher than an 8 to actually trigger a crisis. Once you do roll something higher than that, you have to draw a crisis card, which usually results into some horrible effects on the environment around you. Like, for example, you deforested a forest nearby, which means you can no longer draw any resources from that forest. And this then gets exponentially worse because, you know...
Why is that transporting everything by coach?
The higher the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, the lower the amount of dice rolls required to actually draw a crisis card, which just increases the number of problems on the board, which encourages people to increase the number of greenhouse gas. So the idea was to teach pure children, or well, in this case us, as we're trying out the game, to try and win, but also not win so much that we destroy the world. Only problem was I was playing with really rude people. I tried to be environmentally sustainable, and then some people just started mass excavating ore next to me, and they basically just mined the entire planet to death. Which turned me into a rude person, and I tried to build an army and make them stop. But apparently that just encouraged them to do more. Which in turn kinda turned me into a rude person too, because I was contributing to the greenhouse gas effect by just building more and more armies.
Okay, Mia. So, something's wrong here, and I've not figured it out what it is.
Oh.
We've got a train that's sat there, it's empty, it's not being loaded. And we have a farm here that is sending all of its stuff by coach and none of its stuff by train.
Is the train station full?
No, the train station doesn't
Zoom
have
in.
storage or anything.
It does. Do you see that thing on the side? That's its storage. That's the thing that's currently delivered to the train station. Now the question is, why isn't the train picking up the stuff that's lying there? We've got tons of pumpkins that should be going. Is it connected to a warehouse or a city?
It's connected to a warehouse.
Well, go to the warehouse.
Oh, that's
did
what
you
I
not
did.
Set up the
I forgot to. Yes, veggies and corn.
Well, that wasn't
and
that hard.
fruit. So corn, veggies.
Charlie97 points out that he really likes the global warming edition that I was just describing.
You understand your craft, I must admit. I hope that we will fight over land and rails for a long time to come.
I don't like that woman anymore. The problem is this is not a commercially available version. This was an experimental version developed by our psychology department. It was quite interesting to play, but the problem is you're usually playing with people who don't feel anything about the world that they're playing in, and so their go-to reaction is to just ruin the fun for everybody and destroy the world. Oddly enough, by being the most conservative in terms of road and city building, I was the person with the most resources. Usually, at least.
Yeah, okay.
A big dream has become reality. Baltimore now has a direct connection to the Great Lakes. This will speed up the trade of goods and help bring more prosperity to the city.
Good for him. Shouldn't we have built the supply tower at the thing where...
It's such a long stretch. I thought we'd get one in the middle.
That's good thinking, actually. Yeah, that is quite the way to go.
So there's one at each end and there's one in the middle. That seems to be about appropriate.
Potato is trying to tell us how to sell a block voxel-based game. We just have to say it's like Minecraft. That's all that you have to say, really. Apparently that's simple. Well, not in the olden days. Olden days being about 5 to 8 years ago, when Minecraft was just barely coming out. In that time, you had to say it's like Lego, but digital.
For the computer. That's still how I describe it. Let's buy you. And let's buy a stoker.
Okay.
And let's buy a conductor. Oh look, those two get on really well.
What?
That's handy.
How so?
We get a green arrow. That green arrow tells us that they get on well.
Oh.
Or at least she likes her or something. But if you
what
see...
sort of positive effect does that have? Does that increase the efficiency of both?
It does... I can't remember when it applies one-on-one like this. But I know that it has a positive effect on the scores overall, but whether it's on an individual or whether it's overall, not sure. When you have negatives, it'll have a negative effect on it as well. Oh,
Someone's breeding near Baltimore.
I think we'll buy their business.
Hold on. Are we already connected to them?
Probably.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
we are. Yes, we shall have you. Ooh, and I got an achievement.
All beginnings are difficult. Did you just delete the thing?
No, I just deleted the...
Oh, I thought... Baltimore, Ohio leaves them all behind. Value reaches 12 million US dollars.
With this, the renowned railroad company is continuing its success story unabated. Railroad has proven that she knows exactly which routes are lucrative and has continuously pressed ahead with the expansion of her network. This also includes constantly developing a company, recruiting good personnel, and responding to increased demand with new rail lines.
I appreciate that you changed your sex back.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember. Sometimes I remember what gender I am. Other times I just kind of forget. Yeah, we get a connection bonus. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't we need to get to Indianapolis anyway as part of our tasks?
Maybe.
Oh, no, never
right,
mind.
that's going to do itself.
It's going to do itself soon.
Yeah, that'll tick over way in time. So the thing that I really want to do is to buy 20% of shares. That's the next thing to go for, because like the cash is starting to rack up now. So let's start. We'll start replacing trains, and we shall also start buying out the competitors.
Charliewood is really interested in the rules for this version. Let me speak with my psychology professor
This
about...
technology is mine now. Thanks for your work.
He stole your timetables. It's a shame. It's 1833 and he hasn't invented timetables yet.
Indeed.
Get with the times, man. Where was I? I can speak with my psychology professor about this. Maybe I can actually get a copy of all the additional pieces for that game and somehow send it towards you, which means you then only need to have your own copy of Settlers of Catan. Interestingly enough, we're now tasked with adapting another board game, or, well, physical game of some sort in a similar educational context. So, for example, we have to give the card game,
Uno.
an educational context. Not me specifically, but it's one of the things. 5 times, another achievement.
Oh, and we've got a research point.
Lamps. What do they do?
That's a bell.
No, the lamp on the bottom right. More bottom right.
Ticket prices.
Oh.
Ticket prices would be good.
How do I turn Uno into a role-playing card game about life? Well, luckily I don't have to concern myself with that. The problem is,
For my friends on the East Coast, the Great Lakes are a long way away, and many of them never want to go there. This is because they have only just arrived in the New World.
What can I do if your employees can't resist my candy?
But think about their children. They won't want to spend their entire lives on the East Coast when a vast land of unimaginable possibilities lies before them.
Doesn't he get nervous about us buying his shares?
Are
so
you buying
much?
shares from me?
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Thank you for answering the question so immediately. Potato points out that it shouldn't be an adaptation of Uno. It should be my own card game, and apparently it'll make me rich. I don't quite see how yet. Also, I don't think I have the time and resources to develop my own. Oh!
Oh.
What the hell is this? What's this yellow line just sneaking into Baltimore there?
That is somebody else has put a train station in Baltimore.
Are you kidding me?
It's her, de Pomp.
Ugh. Is she?
She's bypassed Washington, though. We've made it quite expensive for her to do that, which is good.
Charlie appreciates the notion of me.
Indiana, no. Not interested.
Asking my professor about it. Only problem is the next time I see her in person will be in 2 weeks because we have a reading week next week where we're all supposed to studiously read things. Clearly, all of us will adhere to that and read. Maybe. Probably. We don't know yet.
Managed train.
Returning to my conundrum, I've been assigned the game Dixit to turn that into something that has more of an educational context. Only problem is I have no idea what Dixit is or how to play it.
Baltimore to Pittsburgh. Maybe we'll replace that one next. We'll just keep alternating between buying trains and buying out.
That's not how you spell Dixit, but I assure you this joke has been made many times before.
If you own enough shares in your competitor, you can merge with them and incorporate their routes and buildings with yours. Your competitor will then be out of business for good.
That's the idea. So we have just achieved this task,
There's still room for a station here, don't you think?
Ew.
which we had till 1840 to do.
Yeah,
And
but we still need to buy one of the competitors
by
completely.
1845. All right. Oh,
Slavery debate flares up, a question with explosive content. That picture does not seem to match. The guy in the background makes me uncomfortable.
Initiated by student debates at the seminary in Walnut Hills, Cincinnati, the question of whether slavery has a place in our society is now being discussed across the country. The students who previously founded the Society for Effecting the Abolition of Slavery have since been expelled from the seminary. However, the outstanding issues of the right to free speech and the shaping of our common future in this country still remain. Right, time to expand a bit, I think. Want that.
In fact, I think I'm going to just email my professor about it, making it his task to remember it for when he returns, and I return. Wasn't the spotted cow seem surprised that
Do
I...
you even know what you were bidding on?
Yeah, parcel drops. It says so at the top. Where was I?
I've no
Spotted
idea.
cow being surprised that I could possibly read for a whole week. What makes you think I can't read for a whole week? The spotted cow also wants to know what the hell is
Oops.
Dixit.
I was trying to...
Trust me,
scroll
I'm
here.
asking the same questions. Apparently, it's something with an edge of Dungeons and Dragons in which you have to develop your own story of the game
I hope
using
you
the
don't
material.
mind if I go into competition with your station.
You should buy him out more quickly. He's getting desperate and really annoying.
I'm going to replace this train. And then have a look and see if we can put some personnel on it. So there's a stoker available. We'll have you. There's a security guard available. We shall have you.
Oh, apparently those two get along really well.
Right, Washington's not doing very well for itself, but I don't really care that much. Random breakdowns. Right, let's look at expanding. I think we should connect Indianapolis now.
Sure-io. Potato points out that creepily looking at women will surely win their hearts.
Yeah, I think I'll put a large station in a bit.
I mean, I would explore the idea of the Dixit game further if I had a copy of it. We've all been assigned into groups that all center around the game that we have been provided with, but luckily and or unfortunately I have not been provided with the copy of the game. Another team member of my group basically took that home and they're taking care of it. Didn't we want to connect? Indianapolis?
What?
Didn't we want to connect Indianapolis?
Yes. I'm waiting for the cash.
Well, we could just plop down a small train station and connect it quickly with the place, right?
It's
I mean,
not
why
really
would we
that
need a
much
larger
cash
one there?
anyway. Well, we do want a large station there because there's a lot going on at Indianapolis.
Is there really?
Yeah, because we've got a connection to the north. You've got all of this freight, and then there's Louisville to the south, and all freight all over the place. So yeah, I think
Personally, I
we
would have
want...
argued you to connect. What's the place up there in the right corner?
Grand Rapids,
No, right. We're already.
Toledo.
Toledo! I thought we'd just connect that directly to Louisville.
Let's extend out the tracks a little.
Oh, that's a nice idea. The spotted cow points out that I could try and find it on the tabletop simulator. Dixit, that is. So I could look at the game myself and then try to modify it there. Potato believes that the blame will all go to the one guy who can't share. Well, it's a bit difficult to split up a board game with a whole group. And among other things, we're supposed to use the reading week, quote unquote, to also work on that task. So I imagine I will be in university and working with the others on devising a more educational version of the game.
Oh, not got enough money. Okay.
Couldn't we, ghost late trains while
Yes,
we're
we
waiting
can.
for cash?
Yeah, we can. But I mean, the money is coming in pretty quickly these days. Right, so I'm just thinking if I was to lay a warehouse up here, basically, do I want the track going over the top or do I want the track coming under the bottom of the cotton
What
farm?
resources are up there?
We have veggies, and we have wheat and lumber and cattle and clay.
Do we require another cotton farm in the area?
Don't know. I was just going to have a look at Indianapolis
Also, I
and
thought
see
we can
what
only
they
store 4
want.
types of
Baltimore
resources.
is growing and thriving. That is mainly thanks to the railroad that you built. Well done.
Ah, that'll be the 100,000.
It is. Task was just completed.
Very good. Oops, that's not what I went to do. I meant to click on that.
The spotted cow points out that not all cows are as stupid as they look.
Yeah, it doesn't... Well, it's a small town at the moment. So...
Also say hello to the lifeless husk of Babom,
Hello, Babom.
protruded around by Nightbot. Babom isn't actually here.
As a child, I already had a wooden train set. You too? Or do you still have it?
What do you mean as a child she had a wooden train set? Going by the types of train we initially put on the tracks, the classic idea of a toy train didn't exist around that time yet. Right?
That is probably true. Yeah.
This lady's crazy.
She must be... What? How old do you reckon she is?
4. Like, in which
She looks
weird...
like the wealthy widow type, doesn't she? So
Yeah.
40s, 50s, 60s.
Well, if logically speaking, she ought to be 4, given the fact that the modern train, as we have it, was apparently invented around 4 years ago, I'd like to argue. You know, the train that vaguely looks like the toy version of nowadays. Potato believes that maybe she has an aging problem.
Is Indianapolis or Toledo? Yeah, Indianapolis is going to be a bit of a hub, I think. So we'll go Indianapolis to Toledo. But our posh trainer? Oh, we can have a stoker.
Hold on, she would have had to have been 4 years ago, so she's 8 now. Fixed it.
Did she say as a child?
Yes, as a child.
So, in theory, she may have got her first wooden train at the age of 10. And she would still be a child playing with a train. So...
She was 10 4 years ago.
Yeah, so maybe she's 14 now.
Where's Norfolk again?
I have a feeling that might be... Oh, I'm not paying $1 million for anything.
Ooh.
Oh, what's Toledo?
Then again...
Oh. Hang on a second. Bonus for an express line between Toledo and Baltimore.
That wouldn't really work with your current setup because that would require you to route a train through all the train stations between Toledo and Pittsburgh. Between Toledo and Baltimore.
Well, we can do it.
I mean, we could.
Do it by... We can run a parallel track along here and then merge it in, say, here. Run it through Pittsburgh. It would have to run on the same track.
Ooh.
And I think we should do that.
All right.
Let's have a look. We didn't want to take... Yeah, because we don't want to take Toledo down here for any apparent reasons, so...
As I was trying to say, well, if we do want to be antsy about this, we're technically all children. At any age. We're the children of our parents. Anyway, Tammy suggests that maybe she was born in a leap year. And Charlie believes that this would explain it, clearly. Potato, on the other hand, is suggesting that maybe the mercury in her head is just getting to her.
Okay. Right, need to do a bit of signalling on this now. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to show us how to do it. We know that. There we go.
One of them is the wrong way around.
No, both trains are coming in the same direction.
Oh, sorry. I was under the impression that those tracks would be merging again at the other end, and then again you'd have one dedicated line for going towards there and one dedicated line for going back.
No. I've got one dedicated line for running an express train up and down, and one dedicated line for running the local route between Toledo and Pittsburgh. So what we shall do... Now, what I'm going to do is run more than one train. Not on this stretch of track. Because... Oh, I tell you what I do need to do first is take the Pittsburgh to Toledo train. Let's get that up. Pittsburgh, Toledo. I need to make sure that you use a particular track. I don't want to copy it.
Don't you just click on the edit button up there in the left for Toledo? Upper left corner. Notepad with pen.
Yes. Okay.
Use track 1.
Indeed. That's exactly what we want to do.
And don't forget the big thumbs up.
Indeed. Right. So now we've set that to track 1. I can now set another train, which goes from...
Silly question. If you set up a rail line, can you just directly click on Baltimore and then Toledo so it goes through the other stations but doesn't stop there?
Yeah. What I'm going to do.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and it's got a little bit where it gets its own track. The rest of it, because it's fairly difficult, expensive track, I'm not gonna... expensive terrain. I mean, I could put a little bit of doubling up here, but I don't think I will. For the amount of track where it's going to have to run separate, I think I'll leave it alone. Although, there is a spare track coming out of Baltimore. Could run it there. Well, we'll see. I'll edit it if needs be. Right, so at Toledo, I want you to run on track 2. And
So the spotted cow's asking if anybody wants any snow. He's giving it away for free if you come and get it yourself. He's not planning on sending it in the mail. Charlie would like to know how much the spotted cow has on offer, and the spotted cow points out that they got about 15 centimeters of snow.
Wow.
50 centimeters. And that is apparently a lot of snow.
Well, it certainly sounds like a lot of snow. Right, now what I'm going to do is along this track is put in more signals, because this will allow the...
Oh, goodness.
more than one train to run on the same track.
The Spotted Cow brother, I assume, lives about a 45-minute drive away from the Spotted Cow, and he has a 12,000 square meter area with 120 centimeters snow everywhere that he wants gone. What seems to be the problem?
We are going to need to put another trackway in
Can
here.
a tunnel sustain 3 tracks, or are there only...
No, only two.
So basically you'd need to make one of them wait at the tunnel end. May I instead suggest that instead of having a dedicated rail line between Baltimore and next town over, what was it again, Pittsburgh?
Yay.
Yeah, for one train and the other train, how about you have one forward going to Baltimore and one backward going from Baltimore to Pittsburgh?
There's still room for a station here, don't you think?
That both of them would use. And
There's only one track at certain points.
Yeah, and then
working
you
on a
just set it up
single
in a
track.
manner so that they wait in front of the tunnel in case they're having problems.
hmm So what I'm going to do is to double up the track here so that they use the extra platform at Baltimore and run a parallel track out to as far as we can and then merge it here so that then the only bit where they're having to share a track is between here and here, so they won't have to wait very long.
There you go. Charlie is suggesting that the Spotted Cow's brother should try Elon Musk's flamethrower from the Boring Company. I think even with a Boring Company flamethrower, you'd be busy quite a while to clear 12,000 square meters of snow. But you know, it's a start. Spotted Cow, however, points out that you can't really send flamethrowers in Norwegian mail.
Okay, I think here is where we're going to have to merge. Actually, just before we say yes, that's how it's going to be. Yeah, just thought I'd try. Because the game's had a couple of updates.
Hold on. Can you merge on the bridge? Because if you keep it parallel up to the supply tower, you'll automatically get the supply tower on that track too.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just merge it before the supply tower.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, can we afford that? Yes, we can. And then we need a few signals. Oh yeah, at the switch first of all. And then we need to select you.
You click on the rail line button. Pittsburgh cannot be reached.
And we tell it. Why not? Because I haven't got another train running on it yet. The signal's pointed in the direction it's going at the moment anyway. So it wouldn't stop it. At worst, it'd be ineffective. Maybe it's on the wrong line for the route. Let's have a look. So this is the Baltimore-Pittsburgh train. And let's alter the line.
It's currently trying to go into platform 1, which it isn't supposed to be.
Doing, yeah. So
Turn
if we
Baltimore.
set that up onto
Oh, 3.
3, we should be good.
No? Oh, you're paused, sorry.
Yeah.
Ah, there
There
you
we go.
go.
And then...
On the other railway line, you haven't got a train yet on there, which is
No.
why it won't show up in that side menu.
Oh, does it not? I thought it did, even if it didn't.
Don't worry. Your employees won't miss a thing with me. Promise.
I
a
thought
bit
it
rude.
still showed up here, even if
It
it didn't have a
does?
train.
Oh, it might be the one up there that doesn't have a train next to it. Well, I lost it now.
It would have been Baltimore to Toledo. That one?
It does have a train on it?
No.
Huh, weird.
But we need to alter that to make sure that
In
at
Baltimore, it
Baltimore
stops
it's
on
got-
4.
Yeah. Okay.
Shouldn't we add a train to it too?
Yes. We just needed to allow it to build up enough. Alright, we'll put the Moody Bugger on there. Right, it's not giving us...
I think it needs to do at least one go there to be determined as an express line, does
I
it?
don't know. I think it might be thinking a direct line. But that's okay. We've got this thing running, so it'll make us some good money.
Well, isn't it a direct line if we're not stopping at Pittsburgh?
Let's have a look at the train, actually. I won't ride along with it for the moment because I just want to see if it passes through, everything okay, doesn't get held up anywhere.
The spotted cow is worried that this train is on a
that's
one-way
a-
track.
It's a single rail track, but
Believe me, it isn't easy to survive in this world of men. These old men with beards and tailcoats think that the world is at their feet. And women too. But they should not expect that from me.
very good.
Unfortunately, one of your trains didn't make it.
Yeah, there's another connection bonus popped up, actually.
Huh.
New York and Pittsburgh. This is Baltimore and Toledo. And someone's unhappy because I haven't put a maintenance depot in. Right, let's do that at Indianapolis. And we've got research to be doing. I don't like this big thing that they've put in. Move diagram. Can we? No.
They mean the diagram in the background.
Yeah, unfortunately. Increase power. Let's go faster. Oil train maintenance. Yes, let's do that. Okay, and that should sort itself out once it comes in for maintenance.
In Toledo?
Have I not put supply on here either? I haven't. Oh.
Oh, it stopped.
Oh, because it's broken down. Yeah, bad condition.
Oh.
Well, it can come in, get maintenance, and it'll also... We've put everything on and neglected to put on before now, which is good. Right. Yeah,
Hold on,
express
the Baltimore
line.
Toledo. Stop.
What?
The Baltimore Toledo thing still hasn't completed the full thing yet, otherwise it would give us a profit margin. Just let it run its course.
Carrying... I think when it says line, it's talking about an entirely separate train track.
That seems ridiculous. The game doesn't expect you to run direct train lines from every city to
Haven't you
one another.
noticed the spy? He brought something useful back to me.
Are we still centered? Ah, here we go. It's not classed in itself as an express train
Yeah,
either.
Not yet. It doesn't have a money margin either. Give it a moment. You can't rush a train in 1834. Potato pointed out that there's apparently a steam sale going on right now.
Oh, there is. I had a look before.
Ugh.
I didn't see anything that caught my eye.
Baltimore does start to feel like a railway empire, but that's only because of her having her stupid train station in there. Now watch.
It's making us lots of money.
Is it going to turn around one day, or...?
It's being serviced. There's a maintenance depot here.
We'll give it a moment.
Still not classed as an express train.
Probably because it has to wait. Maybe if we get a faster train on there.
Well, it's making good money. Oh,
Did
yeah.
that woman just buy shares from
She
you?
bought shares.
From you?
In me. I should buy shares in her.
Oh.
I should buy this guy out, actually. We can buy a fair amount of shares in him. Let's get another 20%.
Get your hands off my business.
Do we take over him as soon as we have 51%, or...?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then all his assets become ours. We should
Brilliant.
upgrade this train.
Some people think that I should hire a man to represent me in negotiations because I might not be taken seriously. But where's the fun in that for me?
Well, you could go back to playing with your toy train. Spotted Cow points out you also can't rush a train in 2018.
We've got some more
Hold on,
cash
I'm
to
worried
invest.
that as soon as you
Let
buy
me
it...
show you how it's done.
I'm worried that as soon as you buy up your competitor, you'll complete the scenario because your company value will increase a lot.
Oh, that's true, actually. Let's have a look at the tasks again. Yeah, so we've got to buy one of our competitors, and we've got to achieve £20,000.
Well, if we do
20 million.
achieve
dollars.
20 million through buying the other guy, we'd be hitting 2 flies with the
We
same thing.
would, and we'd be doing it.
A full decade too early.
Yeah. No, not too early. Ahead
It's
of
too
schedule.
early.
I want to put some decent trains on. Pittsburgh, New York. It's the other side of mountains. Oh, we got a stoker. I wonder. Fruit orchard near. We're nowhere near now. Oh, look. Bless. We're still running one of those things.
I'm sure the guys at Robinson Clearing don't mind. I mean, it's not even that far away. And I'm pretty sure they cherish the fact that they still have one of these old classic ones. Also, they seem to be very reliable.
No, they're terrible.
Oh.
If you have a look...
Never mind then.
So, the reliability of this is 83.
A little competition creates
no.
business.
Yeah,
So my new
spot
station
on.
won't do any harm.
What do you mean? I don't get where they're building all their stations.
Because there's no free towns anymore. So all of the... And these big cities have got lots of unmet demand because I've just given them a connection. I haven't given them, like, lots. Shall we connect Louisville? Or shall we...
I thought we were
we
waiting
go
on
Grand
buying
Rapids?
out more.
Well, it just brings up the cash faster.
Fair point.
Like you
Then
say,
again,
we're
I
all-
should probably point out that you've only got roughly 5 minutes left.
Oh, with such delicate little things, I just can't say no.
Do you get money for the shares she's buying?
Um,
No, of course not. They're
it
cheating
will
here
push
too.
up the value of our company. All right, which train line do we want to ride? We'll go
Well,
for a
I
ride.
guess our express line that's collecting Toledo to Baltimore seems like the token thing to do.
Baltimore, Toledo. That one?
Oh, it's just left Toledo. We can't
Oh.
jump on in the middle of the...
Well, it's only just started on its journey.
Oh, well, I guess.
Shall we ride on the front? That's the back. That's the front.
I'm really uncomfortable with the front because it feels like you just strapped me to the front.
Well, if I was to look up in the air a little bit.
Only makes it mildly better.
Would you prefer the left side or the right side or something?
This side looks good. The only problem I have is that I hear no train at all in my left ear.
Right. Sitting you on the front.
Ah, hello!
Ooh, it's the first time we've been through a set points. Like, you know, while we're riding.
We'll just breeze through this station here now.
Indeed. I mean, we could stop and pick up passengers.
Potato points out, it would be really awkward if this game had wildlife and you suddenly have a sheep smack into the train in the front view.
Yeah, and the camera's just covered in gore.
Oh, I wonder if the other train is already waiting here.
Maybe.
Ah, rather unlikely, I guess. Yeah. Although it's coming up right now, so at the moment it's rather smoothly timed, I guess.
I hope you don't mind if I go into competition with your station.
We'll be buying all these stations.
Baltimore and Ohio at full steam. Jervis Forto hits 33 miles per hour.
Indeed.
Faster and faster all the time. That has nothing to do with traveling in style.
I suppose looking at her character, I mean, she could be anywhere between 14 and 64.
Tammy Patton, on the other hand, suggests it would be awkward if somebody were tied to the tracks.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
I just noticed that the actual train wheels are not turning. My immersion is entirely broken now.
Well, if you look at train wheels or car wheels that are going fast, often they appear to be stationary.
This one just left the train station. They're supposed to be turning at the start at least.
Look, that cart's wheels are turning.
Oh yeah, of course. Potato's suggesting that I should mimic being
There's another
strapped.
station here now.
Yeah. That I should mimic being strapped to the front of the train, and I should start yelling.
Well, we've got $1 million in the bank.
We could at least wait till we went through the tunnel again. That's the most exciting
Okay.
bit.
Okay. I was just thinking we might even be able to afford to buy him out. It's quite possible that it won't let us buy out Don Lorenzo, whatever his name is,
Why not?
because
Let me show you how it's done.
as we buy him, our value's going to increase, and because the game already recorded it as a completed task, I think we'll finish all of our tasks before we've completed buying him out properly.
Oh yeah, right. Well, this is awkward now.
What's awkward?
That we're waiting here. We're just gonna go through the tunnel.
Well, why
I
don't
can't even
you?
see the train coming.
Well, it'd be like reloading in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Be but getting serviced or anything. Do you want to run through the outro, Mia?
Why do I have to do it again? I feel like I'm doing it constantly lately. Well, clearly I see now where this isn't an express line. This is unacceptable.
The prosperity on the East Coast is growing. I like that, as there are many places there that are dear to me, especially Baltimore. But this wealth is also causing people to become lazy. I hope there will be enough people like me who feel the urge to travel farther west.
It seems like it was just a train occupying the same platform on the other side.
It may well be. Oh, no, it should have
Shouldn't we
allowed.
have been travelling up to the platform if that were the case?
Yeah.
Or does that mean you now forgot the signals over here?
No, signals are here. Look,
Signals are there. I don't get it then.
we might have been waiting for the train that runs Pittsburgh to Toledo to clear this point. Maybe because it was in the train station. No, that doesn't make sense either. It would have moved forward to the next set of signals.
Potato's suggesting it's time for overtime, Tickles. And Charlie believes I'd be good with outros.
Oops.
That's the wrong button.
That was the wrong button. Okay. Well, because we're going to go into the next stream with only a couple of minutes left on this.
Oh. This chapter was a success. You've completed
Ta-da.
all the compulsory tasks in this chapter.
Oh, I think we've got a bit of a cutscene now.
Okay.
I was going to suggest that we just hang on and wait for this bit, but it didn't even let me do that.
Hung on and waited for this bit very briefly.
That's what we did.
The trust in new technology and the art of the adventurous
I don't remember
railroaders
us
paid
connecting
off.
to Scranton.
Within a few years, a patchy network of short railroad lines stretched from the coast to the Great Lakes, bringing new wealth and a period of dynamic change. Soon the first dreamers entered the scene, calling for a gigantic railroad link from the Atlantic to the Pacific, the so-called Transcontinental Railroad. But how is the most enormous project of the century to be funded and executed when the first step had only just been taken?
A very stiff piece of paper he's holding there.
Yeah, we made engineer. Not bad.
Good for us. I mean, I guess that's what you're usually aiming for.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you for watching so far. If you've enjoyed us streaming and or playing and or probably doing both to Railway Empire, feel free to return next week on Thursday at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time, where we'll be probably doing this nonsense again. Alternatively, if you'd rather watch something a little less trainy, you could join me on Wednesday at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time, where I'll be playing the Fall Part 2 Unbound, where I'm playing a scary robot thing. Fortunately, I'm not a butler anymore. Or if neither of us are your cup of tea, there's also, of course, always the offer of a fruity cocktail available on Potato's Twitch channel every Saturday at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time too. Well, he'll be playing, I assume, Monster Hunter World or Half-Life or something else, depending on what's happening to him at the moment. Anything else you want to add, or do
No,
I
I
just
think
click the
that's good.
stop streaming button and scream everybody out?
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Cheerio.